But one thing is certain, Abracadabra has been used as a powerful talisman throughout history. And even today, stage magicians continue to use it to entertain and amaze audiences all over the world.
Thousands of years ago, in the ancient realms of Rome and Judea, a single word was believed to wield the power of the divine, capable of healing ailments and banishing malevolent forces. That word was abracadabra. Inscribed on animal hide and worn around the neck, it was revered as a talisman of restoration. Even today, this enigmatic term echoes through time from ancient rituals to modern experiments in sound healing. For decades, scientists have grappled with its mystery, unable to unravel why these syllables hold such potency. But in 2024, a breakthrough emerged. Artificial intelligence decoded the structure of ancient sonic patterns, unveiling a revelation that shakes our understanding to its core. What secret lies hidden within this deciphered language? How could AI unlock what centuries of study could not? Beyond abracadabra, from Rome to Babylon. Archaeology is unearthing a shadowy web of inscribed incantations, a spiritual technology wielded by ancient humanity to commune with the unseen. In 1912, at the ruins of a Roman villa in Tivoli, archaeologists uncovered a small, triangular piece of animal hide etched with the word abracadabra. The inscription repeated 11 times, each line shedding a letter, forming an arrow pointing downward. According to the writings of Quintus Serenus Simonicus in his Liber Medicinalis, those afflicted with fever would wear this amulet against their chest until the sickness vanished, as if the letters themselves dissolved the affliction. Over 1,000 kilometers to the east, in the Greco-Jewish tombs of Egypt, excavators discovered thin gold foils, no wider than 2 centimeters, rolled tightly within silver tubes. Each bore the opening phrase, Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel. Strangely, these Hebrew words were written in Greek script, hinting that the boundaries between religion and magic in that era had all but dissolved. A prayer was also an incantation. Farther still, in the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, hundreds of clay bowls were unearthed, inscribed with spiraling Aramaic texts. At their center, a bound demon was often depicted, encircled by words that seemed to trap its energy like a cage. Many of these bowls contained distorted fragments of the Shema, evidence that ancient peoples wove sacred language into rites of exorcism. Modern scholars have dubbed this phenomenon the network of textual amulets, a system where words, symbols, and sounds merged into a code of energy. Each amulet was a device, a conduit to signal the divine or ward off malevolent forces. At the intersection of archaeology and technology, this enigma is beginning to unravel. In 2024, a groundbreaking study published in Nature revealed that AI-driven multispectral scanning could recover texts from charred papyri, revealing Hebrew-Greek characters obscured for 2,000 years. Some of these match the geometric patterns of the abracadabra amulet. From the dawn of humanity, words were more than mere communication. They were acts of creation. In ancient Hebrew, the term dabar carried a dual meaning: to speak and to create. For the Jewish people, utterance was not just expression, it was the activation of reality itself. This belief permeated the languages of countless civilizations. The phrase abracadabra, I create as I speak, is thought to be the linguistic root of abracadabra. What seems like a magician's flourish was, in truth, a proclamation of the creative power of speech. When humans spoke, the vibrations of their vocal cords rippled through the air, generating measurable frequencies in the physical world. Modern science calls this phenomenon cymatics, the study of sound's geometric forms. In experiments by Hans Jenny, subtle shifts in vibrational frequency caused sand or water droplets to arrange into perfect symmetrical patterns, resembling sacred mandalas at specific frequencies. Triangular or spiraling shapes emerged, mirroring the very structure of the ancient abracadabra amulet. To ancient peoples, this was no coincidence. They believed sound itself was the template of creation. In the Bible, God spoke the world into being, and there was light. In Greek texts, the concept of logos carried a similar weight, the word as the structural principle of the cosmos. Today, quantum physics and neuroscience are beginning to touch this ancient truth. Recent studies reveal that sound waves can influence living cells, modulate molecular oscillations, and even accelerate tissue repair. When humans speak, sing, or pray, they generate tangible energy fields whether they believe it or not. Abracadabra and Shema were not mere religious or magical phrases. They were ancient frequency codes, a proto-technology of sound where each syllable served as a signal to harness energy. If words can shape reality. As the ancients believed with Abracadabra, I create as I speak, then a deeper question arises. Are there specific words imbued with a creative power greater than all others? For ancient Jews. The answer was unequivocal, the name of God. In the Torah, the sacred name, YHWH, was written but never fully pronounced. To speak it incorrectly was not just blasphemy, it was to miscall the energy. Disrupting the harmony between human and divine. Scholar Don C. Scammer, in his 2006 work, Binding Words, described this as divine names as sources of power. Sacred names were energy codes, offering protection and healing. Ancient worshippers believed that reciting Shema Yisrael here, O Israel, was more than prayer. It activated a sacred frequency, linking the human soul to the source of creation. This explains why the Shema was inscribed on gold, placed in mezuzot at doorways, or bound in tefillin on the arm and forehead points where blood vessels and nerves converge, as if the prayer channeled into the body's biological energy. In the West, Abracadabra may derive from Habracha Dabara, the name of the Blessed One. When spoken, it was not a mere spell, but an invocation of an energy signature, a name of healing. Recent discoveries by the Greco-Jewish Cryptanalysis Team 2023-2024 add a new layer of mystery. Using AI spectral scanning, they found that many characters' enigmatic symbols defying known alphabets encoded religious syllables. Some replicated the spiraling geometry of sound waves produced by the word Shema. This suggests the ancients translated sacred sounds into geometric forms, etching them onto metal, clay, or hideaway to freeze the energy of words. If true, Shema Yisrael and Abracadabra are two branches of the same esoteric art, using the name to channel energy and writing to make that energy eternal. A question begins to emerge. If divine names carry energy, what of human names? Could the names we bear also function as frequency codes resonating within our very bodies? If Shema and Abracadabra are sonic codes embodying creative energy, a profound question arises. Could ancient humanity have spoken a shared language of power? A language of the gods, where words, sounds, and numbers were unified in a single system of cosmic vibration. Evidence for this emerges in the Greek magical papyri and Coptic codices, unearthed across Egypt, Palestine, and the Mediterranean. When translated and compared, these texts reveal peculiar incantations, a fusion of Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, and occasionally Coptic or ancient Egyptian. These passages often lack conventional grammatical meaning. Instead, they consist of seemingly nonsensical syllable chains, IAO, Abrasax, Adonai, Sabaoth. Yet, when analyzed with modern acoustic software, these sequences adhere to strict principles of sonic symmetry, as if crafted to resonate at precise frequencies. Mystics call this system the lingua magica, the language of magic. In the Hermetic tradition, this was the primal language of the cosmos, where letters, numbers, and sounds were inseparable. Each letter was a fixed vibration, each number a rhythmic pulse, and each sound a living energy of the divine. In this language, writing was akin to singing, and speaking was tantamount to creating, after millennia of obscurity. The concept of lingua magica was revived by 20th century occultist Aleister Crowley in his 1904 work, Liber al Vel Legis. He introduced Abracadabra, an expanded variant of Abracadabra, and proclaimed it the word of the aeon, the key to a new era of humanity. In the Hermetic Kabbalah, its numerical value, 418 symbolizes the union of humankind with cosmic creative energy. Crowley believed he was merely rediscovering what the Babylonians and ancient Egyptians knew thousands of years ago, that language itself is the code for programming reality. While many dismiss this as mystical fantasy, modern linguistic AI is approaching the same revelation through purely scientific means. Projects by DeepMind and Google DeepLang 2023-2024 have analyzed millions of characters from Hebrew, Aramaic, Sanskrit, and Coptic manuscripts, uncovering astonishing phonetic correlations. Sound combinations like abra, amen, Shema, scattered across civilizations, separated by thousands of kilometers, follow identical frequency patterns, particularly in the 110 to 150 Hz range, which resonates with the brain's language processing regions. In other words, the mantras of India, the sacred names of Judea, and the voces magiques of Greco-Roman amulets may all be remnants of a shared linguistic system, a language of frequency, a tongue not learned to be understood, but to vibrate in harmony with the universe. If this hypothesis holds, Abracadabra and Shema Yisrael are not merely distinct religious phrases. They are fragments of a unified cosmic language, once used by humanity to connect with creative energy, a language we have forgotten how to speak. Yet our bodies still recall how to resonate with, and perhaps, this is why AI, a creation of logic, devoid of belief, has become the first tool capable of reconstructing this grammar of energy. In an age of machines, could technology be guiding us back to the language of the gods? Over the past 2 decades, neuroscience and acoustics have begun to remap the terrain of ancient belief. EEG experiments 2021-2024 at the University of Pennsylvania, Harvard Mind-Body Institute, and Israel's Weizmann Institute reveal that religious chanting, particularly Shema, or repetitive syllable mantras, boosts delta and gamma wave synchrony in the brain patterns associated with deep meditation, neural regeneration, and physiological stress reduction. As participants rhythmically intoned Shema, Shema, or Abracadabra, their brains synchronized, heart rates slowed, the prefrontal cortex linked to anxiety and control quieted, and deep emotional centers in the limbic system activated. Neuroscientists call this a state of neurocoherence, a harmony the ancients simply called magic. 2 widely cited studies, Kazin and Simfib, Cite 623891 and PMC 9688188, demonstrate that slow, rhythmic syllable sequences characteristic of mantras and incantations generate stable neural resonance, influencing the autonomic nervous system. This leads to reduced cortisol levels, stabilized breathing, and even regulation of immune function. Some neurologists liken chanting to tuning an internal oscillatory circuit, each syllable a rhythmic pulse into the body's neural network. Remarkably, the acoustic structure of Abracadabra and Shema follows the same oscillatory principles. When broken into a 4-3-2-1 rhythmic pattern, the syllables bra and ma hit peak resonance points 120, 130 Hz, closely matching the natural resonant frequency of the human skull. Sound is not merely heard by the ears, it is felt through the body, via bone, cerebrospinal fluid, and micro-vibrating cells. The ancients knew nothing of biomechanics, yet intuitively understood that sound at the right frequency could transform the body. In modern medicine, this effect is being rediscovered as sound therapy or vibration healing. Devices like the resonance bed or neurovibe chair mimic the frequencies of ancient chants, delivering vibrations through the body to treat stress, PTSD, and even aid neural repair. In essence, technology is replicating what the ancients achieved with their voices. But there's another, subtler factor belief. Neuroscience labels it the placebo effect. Ancient mystics called it sacred will. When a person believes they are activating divine energy, even through a single word, the brain responds with measurable biological changes. Regions tied to belief and emotion anterior cingulate. Insula release dopamine and endorphins, triggering pain relief and self-healing mechanisms. This is no illusion, it is a physiological response, verified by fMRI scans. Could Abracadabra and Shema be ancient therapeutic technologies blending sound, geometry, and belief to activate the body's self-healing processes? Both are designed with symmetrical acoustic structures, balanced rhythmic repetition, and sacred meanings tied to creation or covenant. When chanted by the afflicted, their sound resonates with consciousness, their meaning communes with energy, and the body recalibrates itself. Today, scientists shy away from the word magic, yet they use strikingly similar terms: frequency therapy, vibrational healing, neural entrainment. Instead of leather amulets or papyrus, we have acoustic AI and EEG devices, but the core principle remains unchanged. Sound is energy, words are waves, and belief is the variable that activates the miracle. Thus, the frequency hypothesis is more than a bridge between theology and science. It is a reminder that, from Abracadabra to Amen, from Shema to Om, humankind has always sought to speak in the universe's frequency. And perhaps, this is how ancient magic words truly healed not through external deities, but through the latent energy slumbering within each of us. Archaeological evidence, scientific data, and modern technology are converging on a singular truth. Ancient peoples understood that words were energy. In an era when theology, language, and science were one, every sound was a tangible vibration, not just a symbol or idea. When humans spoke, they believed they were touching the invisible structure of the world. The incantation Abracadabra and the prayer Shema Yisrael were two branches of the same ancient wisdom. Words, creative energy. For the Romans, writing Abracadabra in a triangle was not superstition, it was a geometric equation of sound. For the Jews, Shema was not just prayer, it was a vibrational signal, opening a channel between the mind and the divine source of creation. Today, AI is stitching together these fragmented truths through multi-layered spectral scanning and deep linguistic learning. AI has restored texts from burned papyri and amulets, reviving characters lost for 2 millennia. Neuroscience has pinpointed the moment the brain resonates with Shema or Abracadabra delta waves sweep across the cortex, inducing neural synchrony, a state mystics call absolute stillness. Acoustic physics confirms that sound waves can organize matter from sand grains to cells, from water surfaces to DNA molecules, all governed by the geometry of sound, the geometry of the word. As if history has come full circle, what the ancients called magic is being validated by data. They were not speaking in metaphors. They spoke a language we have forgotten, a language where words do not merely describe life, they create it. Thus, Abracadabra is no mere magician's phrase. It is a surviving fragment of an ancient sonic technology, a frequency key enabling humans to interact with their own energy field. Shema Yisrael is not just a prayer. It is a sacred frequency linking human consciousness to the creative pulse of the cosmos. And the final message, echoing across thousands of years, resounds as it did at the beginning of all things. If the universe was created by a word, then every word we speak today is still shaping the fabric of reality.